Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back here. Today there's huge news, and it's something that I'm calling the death patch because they are seriously trying to kill the game right now. This is not even funny. The loot has changed. They dramatically decreased the loot across the board in the patch today. Um, I've defended every single patch that's happened since the very beginning. We've pushed through and got a lot of nice things. We've actually increased the loots a lot before, from max like 200 to 300 or 280, 260. So huge changes. But this right here, what they did today is unbelievable. Even the metal patch, the last patch about 2 weeks ago, a lot of players were saying that was the death patch. That was the patch that killed off the game. That was the patch that a lot of players didn't like. You're seeing 0 medals and very low medals. Well, they fixed that after like a week or so, thankfully. But the damage was done there. They lost a lot of players. A lot of players quit the game after that patch. And now it's just medals. I mean, medals, you can live without medals. You don't, they're tournament standings, rankings, whatever. They just get you a little bit of gems here and there. But you can see we're going through our favorites list here, and we used to be able to get 300,000 from almost all of these players. And now you can see it's like a 50% drop in loot, roughly. Sure, some aren't that dramatic. Some are 20%, 10%, but still a huge drop in loot, and it only gets worse as you go up in the leaderboards. If you are in the top like 30 or 40, we're getting reports that these guys are now only getting 100,000 from, these guys up here in the top 10, top 20. Some people are even reporting that they're getting 5 and 10,000 loot consistently around their level of opponents. And they're high-ranking players. They're in the top 100, in the top 20, top 50. So this patch has literally killed all the loot. You cannot upgrade anything. This is the #1 player in the world, or very close. I don't want to say #1 actually. I think he's number 11, so he's giving me 320,000 or so. But that's probably with some actual loot in his treasure chamber. That's probably not the base loot anymore from the game. So you see almost everyone here, my favorite, used to give 300,000 or damn near close to 300,000, and now this has just killed off any chance of ever upgrading anything, of ever having fun in this game. We can go through here. Vert Kill 1 has opened his base because maybe he's giving up. I don't know. He wants to lower his trophies so he can get more loot, because probably his loot up there sucks horribly, being in the top 20, top 30, top 40. So we're going to go ahead and raid here. They've also discussed a lot on the forums that the loot has been lowered in the Chamber of Fortune as well, which that was the only bright side that they ever did in the past. Was, they gave us some free loot for beating, bases, and in recent days it did seem like those loots were going up. I was seeing 100,000 fairly often in the Chamber of Fortune, and that was really nice. And it's not overkill, it's not too much loot, because at this stage of the game everything costs 3 million plus to upgrade one thing, to upgrade one barrier, to upgrade one tower. Everything costs 3 million plus. So even if you raid a base that gives you 200 or 300,000, you still have to raid that base 10 times if the loot stayed the same, which it does not. The loot actually decreases approximately 20%, 25% every time you raid them. Just the base loot, that is. And then if they actually had money in their treasure chamber, it decreases dramatically, way more than that. So every time you attack them, the loot dropped down. So if you attacked them for 300,000 the first time, the second time it would only be like 200,000, and the third time it'd only be like 150,000. So every single time it decreases, which means you would have to do like 30 some odd raids to get 3 million in loot. So even if I got 100,000 extra gold every single time out of the Chamber of Fortune, which you're not going to get every single time unless you're opening all of the chests up, and even then sometimes you don't get the big amount of gold, you're not going to be able to upgrade a tower or a barrier or anything for like 30 raids. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. No one's got time to do 30 raids consecutively too, because if you log off, you're going to get attacked and you're going to lose a lot of your money. So this is just ridiculous. You cannot upgrade anything. You cannot enjoy the game. You cannot even play the game. Because, so if I log off after, 2 or 3 raids, since I can't upgrade anything, I can't do anything with my money, when I log back on, I'm going to have close to, 30 or 40% of my money that I have in my chamber stolen. It's going to be gone. It's not going to be there. So if I have $1 million, I'm going to log back on with 600,000, and I'll have to do another 4 or 5 raids to get back up to 1.2 or 1.5 million, and then the cycle repeats itself. So that means in like 3 or 4 days, I'd be able to do 1 upgrade, which is just stupid. So this is, I haven't said it ever before, and don't want to say it because they've got a great game here, but this is the patch that could kill the game, and a lot of players feel that way. A lot of players have quit today, have said they're not playing anymore, there's no point. Try to reach out to them today, let them know what's going on. Hopefully they change this ASAP, by like yesterday that they change this, hopefully, because this needs to change, otherwise the game very well may die. And I'm Mr. Positive over here. Like I said, I've supported every single change that the game has thrown at us. There's always been a silver lining to everything. Even if the next patch brings a lot of PvE campaign story mode where you can get gold in the story campaign mode for free by beating NPCs, non-playable characters, monsters, zombies, dragons, that kind of stuff. It shouldn't matter. The PvP element of the game is what made the game great to begin with. This game is a PvP game where you fight other kings, you go through their castles, you try and steal their gold. You don't want to be farming against mindless NPC computers and stealing gold that way. That's not what the game is about. The game is about making mistakes, dying, being careless, losing 33 trophies because I was stupid enough and didn't heal my king and rushed in forward. That's what the game is about. The game is about that kind of fun, that kind of entertainment, that kind of enjoyment. This is not Royal Revolt 1. This is not a single player story mode campaign game. This is a player versus player game where you are trying to protect as much of your gold as you can in your treasure chamber by building a defense that will hold the opponent's hero out of your castle by putting traps and barriers down here. That's what this game is about. This game is not about defeating some computer AI targets that have the same base setup always, and all you have to do is figure out how to go through it. No, this is not that. This is a player versus player game, very dynamic, that always changes every single raid, because the player has the opportunity to adjust his base, adjust his waves, adjust his strategy, and use different spells, different units. So that's what this game is. Do not make this game into a Care Bear player versus environment game like Royal Revolt 1. This game probably has done better than Royal Revolt 1. I don't know the data on that, but I'm sure financially this game has done better, since there's a lot of money sinks, all these special offer packages, all the gems that you buy, and competitive games are way more popular for people buying in-game currency to move up the leaderboards. So I don't have the data on that, but I'm assuming that this game is way more profitable, hence why they have stopped developing and working on Royal Revolt 1 and are just solely focusing on this game. But yeah, I don't know for a fact. But yeah, don't turn this game into Royal Revolt 1. We don't want that. This is not what the game's about. And if you do, you will kill the game. You will slowly kill the game off as more and more players leave. There's more bad press, more word of mouth that players say the game sucks, that it's not enjoyable, it's not fun, it's a money sink, it's pay to win. No, that's not what you want to happen. You want players to be happy. You want players to get lots of loot. You want players to, attack other players, possibly form alliances, and share strategies, share tactics, and interact with other players and give out good advice, give out good press for the game, say, oh, that's so awesome, you know, I got 500,000 loot from this base over here, you know, go check, go look for those bases. You don't want people to be like, oh yeah, I only got, you know, 50,000 from that base over there. Wow, you know, I need 5 million to actually upgrade something, so I gotta kill that base like 30 some odd times and I can upgrade something. That's not gonna get people excited. People are like, they're excited when they get 1 million in loot. They're excited when they get 2 million in loot. They're excited when they find these big jackpot bases that have lots of loot. And the larger the loot, the more excitement, the more times they want to share their friends. Oh, hey, look, I got 2 million gold over here. I can upgrade my Firebolt tower, or I can build a Skull tower. I can do this. That's what people want to do. That's what people like to do. People enjoy that. That tells their friends, oh, hey, go check out this game. This game is awesome. You get loot all the time. It's so much fun. They're not going to enjoy telling their friends about, oh, I have to mindlessly grind for, you know, 2 hours and stay on non-stop clicking my screen so no one can steal my loot. No, people want big, massive loot raids. People want to be able to upgrade their castles. People want to be able to attack other players and, you know, see who has the best defense, see who has the best offense, see what tactics work. They want balance. They want fairness. They want a game that, you know, not completely pay to win. The game is pay to win right now, and it has always been with the scrolls, but they do give you a lot of free gems, so that's a nice counter to that argument. But you don't want a mindless grind game. This is a mobile app game. This is not a game where you're supposed to spend 6 hours a day of your life playing to get 1 upgrade done or 2 upgrades done. No, this is a mobile app game that should be able to be played within 10-15 minutes on the fly. Maybe you don't get to upgrade something in 10 to 15 minutes, or maybe you do get to upgrade one thing, but not being able to upgrade something unless you're going to play 2 or 3 hours straight, that's ridiculous. Not being able to raid constantly when you have, you know, an hour or 2 to play, that's kind of ridiculous too. They need to implement the new way to get food. They need to allow the Windows users to have access to free food or some way where they can battle, you know, if they have the time to battle an hour or 2. They need to allow that kind of stuff. And that right there, those are the things that they need to work on. They did announce the monsters coming out, but really, if the game keeps going in this direction, the monsters won't matter because no one's going to be playing the game to see the monsters. So they did announce, I will talk about this later, they announced the mummy and the werewolf. Very cool looking things, but like I said, if no one is playing the game, no one's going to see the mummy or the werewolf and actually care. So they have to make sure that people still like the game in order to see this new content that they're bringing out. Alright, well, please let me know in the comment section down below. I know this is a very different type of video, and I've never been this angry or passionate about anything here. But let me know what you guys are thinking. A lot of this has come from what I've heard from you guys in the Facebook groups about the loot, and now experiencing it firsthand because I haven't been able to play it all today. So I've been very busy, you know, with real life stuff, and this is the first time I've actually been able to actually play and test it with myself. I've seen the feedback, and I've seen the pictures, I've seen the anger in the players, and I feel the exact same way as you guys. Like I said, I'm not affiliated with Flare Games anyway. I'm just, you know, I helped them out with the Rate My Base series. This is something that they should have known better. They should have known better not to decrease the loot, especially this dramatic. Really, the loot was okay how it was. Having 300,000 as the maximum was a fairly good balance. They could have actually increased the loot, which would have been better in my opinion in the higher levels, allowing like the number 1 or the number 10 player to give out like 400, 500,000 consistently as their base loot. That would have been better, since as you get higher up, these towers start costing, you know, 5 million to upgrade. So even if you're going to get 500,000 a raid, that's still 10 raids bare minimum to get an upgrade going. So I'll show you what I'm talking about for those that don't realize. A level 6 Skull Tower costs 5.25 million gold to upgrade. And this is only level 6. This is not the max level tower. The tower goes up to level 9. So level 9 and level 8 upgrades are going to be like 7 and 9 million or so. Like crazy amounts of gold to upgrade the tower one more level. there's still 3 more levels after this. We go to level 7, level 8, and level 9, and those are more expensive. So I have told them that they should decrease the cost of these towers. This is just too expensive, and especially if they're going to release level 12 skull towers or say level 15 arrow towers, they need to decrease the lower level towers so it's easier to get for other players, and that would just help the game overall, having more towers, having stronger towers quicker, being able to actually use your workers, whereas you see I have 4 workers that have been doing nothing for a very long time. The only way to get gold before was to actually use the gold shields, and you can't have a gold shield 24/7, so there needs to be a huge balance. The loot needs to be a lot better. Please let me know what you guys are thinking. Love to hear from you. There's a couple forums, topics on the official forums at Get Satisfaction. I'll put the links down below. Let your feedback be heard, because they do listen, which is the good thing, but this is just something that they should have known better, and it really pushes me the wrong way that they don't really know what they're doing, honestly. Like, that's how this update makes me feel. It's like they don't know what they're doing with the game. They don't know what the players want. They don't know how to run this game into a successful business. That's just how it makes me feel. Honestly, honest to God, that's how it makes me feel. So please let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks.